Hello YouTube. Hope everyone is doing well. Um, Today's video is more of a discussion. There's no how-to today. Um, it's more of just trying to get an understanding of some things that have been kind of bothering me a little bit, things I've been questioning of the automotive industry in general. Just a few little categories here and there. But to get straight to the point, this is going to be a little bit of a rant as well. But anyhow, to get straight to the point, the first thing I wanted to talk about is the Honda Prelude. Right? So, I've seen one in person, haven't driven one or anything like that, right? I've seen one in person at my local dealer. It was sold pretty fast. But I see a lot of negative comments towards the car, right? And by far the majority are from people that have never test driven it, maybe don't fully understand the demographic it's actually for, So a lot of people talk about it's low horsepower, no manual transmission option, and that it's too expensive, right? I mean, Honda out of the gate mentioned that that they weren't planning to sell a lot of them, right? Was it like 3,500, 4,000 units a year, something like that? So my thing is, it's like when they compare it to other Hondas and Acuras back then that had roughly the same horsepower or even more. I mean, the 5th gen Prelude had slightly more, right? But regardless, first of all, that car is for a specific demographic, right? And if you don't like it, just don't buy one. I mean, what's the point of using up energy and putting this negative energy towards a product that you're not going to buy? I mean, especially if you're not even in the demographic for it, right? I'm not talking about financially, if you can afford it or can't afford it or whatever. I don't care about that part. Even if you can afford it, just if it's not for you, then it's not for you, it's really just that simple. I get it, from an enthusiast perspective, yeah, it'll be awesome if they had a manual transmission option, that sort of thing, but and then the horsepower. I mean, who is using the majority of their horsepower, let's say, or who's hauling ass all the time in their vehicle, whether it's a small econo car, it's an SUV or a truck or something, right? I mean, unless obviously you're towing something or you have a high-end sports car where horsepower and torque really matter, you're gonna be taken to the track or something like that, then okay, I understand that. But for the majority of the people, who cares? How often are you really going to be able to truthfully enjoy that amount of power, right? And what I was going to say a minute ago about the enthusiast thing is yeah, I mean, we're enthusiasts and all, but we are a very, very small percentage when you think of the buyers as a whole, right? So if you're not in the market for a vehicle like that, or just you complain about those kind of items, or those stats, and that they don't fit for you, well, that's okay. I mean, that's totally fine. I mean, then the car is just simply not for you. You need to look for something else or wait for somebody to come up with something that better suits your needs, right? That's totally fine. Just don't buy it. It's you vote with your money. It's I won't drink regular Coke, but every once in a while I'll drink the Mexican one. At least it has better, in my opinion, better taste, and it has actual cane sugar in it versus the fake stuff. But at the end of the day, or regardless, in my opinion, don't go after a company for not making something that you don't want. Just just don't buy it. Just vote with your money, right? That speaks louder than I think that's better than just going online and constantly, hey, why didn't they do it this way or that way? Honda specific came out with that vehicle for a specific demographic, and it seems like so far, as of today is March 10th of 26, they seem to be doing pretty well. So, there are other type of buyers out there, right? There's all kinds of different demographics and stuff and that sort of thing. So it's like, hey, if it's working for them, then that's fine. Just because it doesn't work for you as an individual, well, again, that's okay. You vote with your money, right? So there's that with the Prelude. Secondly, I wanted to talk about gas mileage. What I've been seeing a lot over the years is it's like people justifying the purchase of a new vehicle because they want to save money at the pump, right? Okay, I get it. But that's just one of many factors, right? It's just like when you look at horsepower, torque, payload, interior space, and that sort of thing, cargo capacity, whatever. Like those are all just specs, right? There's a lot of factors, to the vehicle as a whole, right? And what I found interesting is, like, let's say, for example, the previous generation Toyota Camry. You had a regular naturally aspirated version, and then you had the hybrid as an option, right? So people will go for the hybrid to save gas. But you're also paying more for the car because, of course, the hybrids cost more than the non-hybrid version. So depending on how many miles you're putting on the car, it takes a few years. It could, again, it depends on how many miles, right? You're putting on every year. But let's say on average, you could easily take like 4, maybe 5 years or so of use before you even break even. So, like, tell me how that makes sense. Like, I get it. At the end of the day, you can buy whatever you want, right? Obviously, free country, that's totally fine. I'm just saying, like, for people that are just using that as like an excuse where it's like, oh, well, get better gas, this and that. You're justifying, like, buying a new vehicle or newer or whatever vehicle that is a hybrid in order to save gas, but you're easily spending way more than that by getting into the car loan, whether or not you had one before, that's separate, but car loan, you got the interest, you got slightly higher insurance on a hybrid versus a non-hybrid. Again, you got all these factors that come into play, right? So, that part to me just kind of doesn't make any sense. It's same people that buy the EVs. It's like, oh, they're not, they don't have to go and get gas. Well, okay. So now if you don't have a charger at home, you're having to go somewhere to charge it. And what that takes, depending on how low you are, right? That takes a minimum of half an hour or whatever it is to nearly fully charge your battery, which is more than double the amount of time it takes to put in gas in your vehicle, first of all, right? So you're having to fit that into your schedule, and kind of change some things around in order to make that happen, in order to charge up the vehicle and stuff. And that's just part of your life now, right? An adjustment. And if you have a charger at home, well, yeah, that helps. So that makes it a lot easier. You don't have to plan so much, right? You got the charger at home, so just whenever you're home, plug it right in. But don't say like you're saving on gas when you're also, when all these generators are running off of diesel, all these electric car generators are running off of diesel or whatnot, and it is not better for the planet or anything, and that's a whole other talk for another day. It's definitely not better for the planet, though. But yeah, there's the whole gas mileage thing. It's at the end of the day, get whatever you want, but just really, really think about like what you're trying to do here. Make it make sense. Look for cars at the end of the day are tools, and look for what is best for you. Think a little more logically. Like I understand. A lot of times people just go for looks, and it's kind of like what some other mechanics I've said. Like let's say they'll come out with like there's a hybrid. What is it? CRV Sport. You got the Camry, like X, SEs and stuff, and you can get them in hybrids. Well, the current gen, they come in hybrids only anyway. And in a way, like the sport stuff doesn't go with the whole hybrid thing, because the hybrid, of course, technically is to save gas, but and then you go with one of those sportier looking trims. Usually, you got bigger rims, which has a smaller sidewall on the tire. So naturally, that increases the price of tires when it gets to that point. You kind of understand where I'm coming from with this, right? And it's like, so in a rim and a tire with a taller sidewall, naturally will be cheaper and get slightly better gas mileage than that sporty trim that has a bigger rim with a smaller sidewall tire. Just little things like that. Again, just my thing is like spreading the truth. Because the truth doesn't care about your feelings, right? It's just the truth is the truth, and that's it. So it's just so people have an understanding as truthfully what they're getting into, and they can make the best decision for themselves, right? They'll be tricked into like the marketing and this mumbo jumbo to get you into something, because it's like at the end of the day, a car salesman is only going to like what you like, right? He doesn't care about anything else, so to speak. He just wants to sell you a car. Excuse me. The third thing is, and the final thing I guess I'd say is kind of going back in a little bit with the Prelude is horsepower. I hear often, like, oh, so-and-so vehicle, like an SUV or something, whether big or small, whatever, doesn't have enough horsepower, this and that. It's like, I mean, who's hauling ass? Who's like, got their pedal to the floor everywhere you go? That's, it's the whole horsepower thing, in a way, also doesn't make sense to me. It's a stat. I mean, stats don't tell the whole truth, so to speak. Like, this is an '07 Pilot, for example, with I'm going on 283,000 miles now. When they were new, they were 245 horsepower or so. And even with the weight, like, I have no problem like merging onto the highway or passing somebody or whatever. None whatsoever. It's like, but again, how often is somebody really putting their foot to the floor? So then why should horsepower be that big of a concern, right? Again, if you're towing or something, or often if you got a sports car or something where those kind of numbers, those things really matter, then that's a different story. But that's a very small piece of the pie. Yeah, I don't get why people complain so much about a certain vehicle not having enough horsepower, right? One thing I forgot to say, I just remembered about the whole gas situation. Sorry to backtrack a little bit. But I heard someone on YouTube recently say that families don't have enough time to put gas in their vehicle once a week. I mean, are these like families like extremely busy where they can't put 5-10 minutes aside or whatnot to fill up their car with gas? I mean, I really don't understand that comment. So if anybody has an idea of what this person was trying to say or what that quote really means or something, please feel free to explain it in the comments below. Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, it's like when I need gas, like my car doesn't get, I don't know, I get like 15, 16 miles per gallon in the city or whatnot. I mean, I do quite a bit of highway too, but definitely mostly city. Excuse me. And of course I got a good amount of weight in the back and stuff, and I don't complain, man. It's just like when I fill it up at half a tank every time, and I just do it. If there's something that's like truthfully bothering you, put your energy into the positive things and to making a change, for the better for you. Don't put so much negative energy into something you can't even control. That is just a waste at that point. just focus on what you can do to better your life, your experiences, your lifestyle, whatnot. Um, to something much, much more meaningful, and that is something that you do have control over, right? So, that's what I say. This is something I had to get out my chest, and again, I want to treat this more as like a discussion. Not to attack anyone or anything of that nature. Let's just have a talk, right? Get a better understanding of each other, each other's needs and viewpoints and perspectives, and just come together as a community to understand each other a lot more as a whole, right? And then maybe also help inform each other to help each other make better decisions in the future, or at least view things with much more clarity. Because that's very possible, and that is one of my main goals for this video. So anyhow, all I ask is that if you have found this video valuable, please consider liking and or subscribing. I do try to treat the channel more as like how-to videos of doing certain repairs and that sort of thing. I am thinking of coming out with maybe more videos like this. I'm not sure. Tell me what you think below. Comment. Please leave your opinions or whatnot, and we'll take it from there. So anyhow, this is Julio from Nippon Automotive here in South Florida. I'll be working on some new stuff soon, and I'll be back on YouTube with another video here shortly. All right. Hope all of you are doing well and have a great day. Take care.